and your thoughts affecting your body, and like feeling like you have intolerances for food or enzymes, and then holding on really tight about what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat, and renewing.
Well, you can make yourself crazy. We're surprised that any of you can find anything to eat. Because somebody's written a book about why you shouldn't eat everything. If you've read all the books, then you shouldn't be eating anything, because there's something wrong with 100% of it from somebody's point of view.
So if you keep renewing that same relationship like you were talking about earlier, it keeps coming up. But if you found something that you think has worked in the past...
Here's the thing that will make this easier than ever before for you to sort this out. Because especially, this is a wonderful subject in order to make this very important distinction. You're all really going to like this. So make the distinction that we've been wanting you to make. In other words, we are very exhilarated about this conversation because it's going to help us to make this point that is the point of not just this Voyage workshop, it's the point of your entire life experience. So just relax and let this soak in just a little bit. There is no subject more perfect for the conversation of action versus energy than the subject of food. Because when you are having physical responses to what you assume are the things that you are eating, just trying to sort that out is very treacherous. Have you noticed? In other words, as you start debating whether it's the gluten or whether it's the sugar or whether it's the chemicals or whether it's the fat or whether it's the this or the that or the this or the that, not only do you have an impossible task of controlling what's in the food that's presented to you, you'd have to really go back to basics in order to control everything that you're eating. It is not even a physical possibility for you to get to that pure place of wanting to control what you're ingesting and to be able to produce it in this environment, in this expanded, leading-edge version of life that you are living. It is not possible to get there from there. You simply cannot change enough of the conditions of what you're doing with food in order to get the alignment that you're looking for. That's not the way to go about it. That's truly the cart before the horse. The way to go about it is to find an emotional relationship with life and then follow the inspiration that comes. Have you ever seen an animal who is a meat eater suddenly munching on something in the yard? Well, it's because instinctually that animal knows that there's something in that will benefit in this snapshot in time. It doesn't want to do it continually. It doesn't leave you a note on your doorstep, I would like a salad every day, please. It's not that kind of a thing. It's that in this moment, my intuitive being, my alignment with Source lets me know that this behavior is beneficial to my overall well-being. And because I'm tuned in, tapped in, turned on, I receive this inspiration. But it's a rare human who gets tuned in, tapped in, turned on before you do much of anything. In other words, almost everyone is acting out in response to conditions or reacting to conditions rather than getting to the heart of it first, you see. So we are just saying to you, you can't read enough books and you cannot put enough into your food or take enough out of your food to get to what you're talking about. But you can get in alignment and feel the inspiration to eat a Snicker bar. We thought you'd have a bigger response to that. Because sometimes your body does ask you for something that's in that. Sometimes your body is asking for that particular type of fuel. But you say, wait, let me check my list. No, I read in this book 6 years ago. Let's see. Let me see what's in this. Let me see what's in this. No. Sorry, Snicker bar. Even though I'm craving you from my alignment, I must say no to you for a contrived reason of controlling conditions.
Are most people in alignment when they eat? Can you
Most
reverse?
people are not in alignment when they eat, unless they are drinking.
Do the bodily conditions...
Say again?
Do the bodily conditions actually exist of gluten intolerance, or is that something that you can reverse?
Well, it's what we've been talking about. Don't you find it interesting These things have been around for a very long time, and suddenly almost everyone you meet has an intolerance to something that wasn't there before. And then the assumption is, well, it's because our genetically engineered food is different, and so our food is affecting us differently. And we say, it's logical that your food would become that adversarial condition, but it's starting at another place. It's starting from a guarded, lackful, shortageness consciousness.
So could you just as easily have your body process anything?
It isn't that your body would process anything. It's that in a state of alignment, you would be inspired to what your body most wants right now. It's like this. Did you hear us when we said that Source within you knows everything that you want and all that you've become? Don't you think the best fuel would be part of the equation of what Source would know? And when we say to you, Source not only knows who you've become and what your desires are, what your desires yet to be manifested are, because they've already vibrationally manifested, but Source knows the path to get you there and is offering impulses and suggestions continually. But most people are not listening to those impulses because they have beliefs that prevent them from even being able to realize them.
I have another question about your brain waves.
Think about the animal, for example. Different animals thrive on different diets. Is that a reasonable, basic place that we can start? Do you see most animals deviate dramatically from their inspired eating patterns? Really, don't you find that fascinating? So why is that? If you could study all of the animals, you would see some deviations from it. The more domesticated they become, the more they begin to act like you. But for the most part, if you could study all of them, you would see a consistency in their inspired eating. And so isn't it logical that you could be a species who is inspired? And isn't it also logical that the expansion of your food base could be helping you, not hindering you? But when you start from a premise that there are things that I shouldn't have, and so you get in that guarded, lackful place, then the most significant thing that happens is that in that guarded, lackful place, you are not in a vibrational, receptive, allowing enough place to receive the inspiration to act. You see, you know people, they're around you, who are eating in an inspired way.
So get in alignment and then eat.
We'll just ask all of you this question, and just speak it out if you feel inspired. You accept the concept of the vortex. We're just going to assume that. Of the vibrational reality, of the expanded version of you. And now let's talk about the word or the human experience. We'll use the word hardy. Do you think hardiness is in your vortex? Do you think that the hardiness that's in your vortex is a bigger, more basic priority than slenderness? It's all right for both of them to be in there. They don't have to be contradictory. You're right. They don't have to be contradictory. We're just asking you that they don't have to be contradictory, but they are for most people. Most people who are focused in this environment are not immune to the idea that I shouldn't be eating that because of the calories in it or because of the weight I might gain from it. We're just asking you what you think. Do you think as a baby that you have yet picked up along your physical trail the intention about the way others are perceiving you, or do you think your desire for hardiness is the most dominant desire within you? So what we're getting at is all of your desires have been melded together, and you're right, they're not mutually exclusive one of another. But the question that we're putting to you is, if you can accept that there are intentions that are in your vortex that you are being called toward, and that in your whatever confusion you have about the conditions that you're focused upon, you are depriving yourself of that alignment that would just lead you to it. It's the chaos that you feel that is causing the confusion. When you eat in a state of vibrational resistance, nothing about what you eat gives you the benefit that it would than if you were eating not in a state of vibrational resistance. If we could convince you that alignment really does trump everything, then it wouldn't be long before you would realize that in alignment, you really could eat everything. But here's the piece that you're asking about. In alignment, would then I really want to eat everything? No, you'd want to eat what you're inspired to eat. So that brings up the predominant thing that's out of whack with most humans. Most of your desire about what you eat is coming to you from your misaligned vibration rather than from your aligned vibration. In other words, you just can't get there from there. When we come back from segment of refreshment, we'll sort this out in a little bit more detail. But really, what we're saying to you, we said it, we've been saying it, is get happy. Let that be what matters most. And some of you are feeling that awkward place that, oh yeah, when I'm fat and happy, or when I get really happy, then I don't do the smart things. And we say, in your efforting to do the smart things, you're depriving yourself of so much of your intuitive, inspired alignment. And then you get out of whack. And then you begin doing what almost everybody does. You start trying to control things out here in the details. And then you get confused about what's the appropriate thing or what's the inappropriate thing. And until you're not feeling confident and clear and pleasurable about any of it.
Yeah, you get stuck and it feels rigid. It's almost like you can't get out of those decisions.
Really, you shouldn't ought to be all balled up in love, in not understanding love. That should just be the easiest thing. Should be so easy for you to feel love for each other and for yourself. And yet you've practiced it in a way that it's kind of hard. And the easiest thing in the world for you should be to find something to eat in this abundant, abundant place that just thrills you to the very core of your being, you see. When you eat with your inner being, oh, everything tastes so good, and everything that you eat gives your body the benefit that you're wanting to give it, but you get all twirled up in that other stuff. This is an interesting thing that is happening with you, because so much of what we're saying, even though it might be rocking your boat a little bit as we're saying it to you, so much that we're saying to you in these hours that we are together, you're really having to take on faith, because you trust us, you trust the laws of the universe. You sort of wouldn't be here if you didn't believe that there was something here for you. We've been consistent enough in what we say to you, and we're certainly passionate in our knowing. And you can feel as you listen to us that there's no wobble whatsoever in our vibration. In other words, we're not guessing about this stuff. We have universal forces behind us that are helping us to know everything that we're saying to you. We're giving it to you in the straight, law-based, universal version of everything, and you are at some level of your being accepting that. And so if you're just taking it on faith, that's enough. Because as you take this on faith and then begin inspired living, some inspired living, until the manifestations that surround you support what you took on faith, then it'll be really fun to have a conversation later about all of these things.
Thank you.
We are eager about what's coming next for you and next for you and next for you. It's those ahas that you have. In other words, it's one thing to hear this from Abraham in this culture where we've sort of woven you into a vibrational vicinity where you can hear it. And we are enjoying the resonance that you're clicking into. In other words, we're feeling insights occur to you and pop within you, and we're feeling the movement within you, and we know that many of you are feeling it too. That's all fine. That's all fun. Blah, 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 blah. But what we are really, really, really interested in is what's coming next for you. When a manifestation occurs and you make the association of that manifestation with this movement that happened in your energy. And the association is also strong within you that you now know that you can deliberately do this, that this is what deliberate creation is. These are not just theories. This is law. These are not just ideas. This is the basis of life. And when you begin to own the vibration of that until it becomes a belief, and a belief is just a thought that you think long enough that it's a steady, solid, vibrational point of your attraction, then you're off and running. Then you're no longer guarded about things. Then your life becomes more about what you're choosing rather than about what you're trying to avoid. When you reach that place that life is about what you're choosing rather than what you're avoiding, alignment on all fronts. That's when the happy joy factor really